Alright, I should be live now. Hello and welcome again to my stream, and thank you for coming. Thank you for watching, even though if you're not here while it happened live, that's no problem. Today, I hopefully will get the shiny Mew. Kind of a joke that it hasn't happened yet, honestly. But yeah, let's just try. So, what I will do today is I will do the calibrating thing so you guys know how it will work. But first, before we can calibrate at all, we need to restart. Like always, you hope that the timing is correct. And I'm standing in front of the Mew, for those wondering, so if this timer here reaches 0, that's when I will have to press the A button. I'm currently playing on a GameCube Game Boy player. It's an add-on that existed for the GameCube, where you put it under the GameCube, you just plug it in basically, and then you can play all of your beloved Game Boy Color and Game Boy Advance games on it. It's pretty great. You can even trade using that. Has a little plug-in for the Game Boy trading cable. But you just can't, for those who want to buy this and want to experience these games on retail, I mean, not experience the games or what I'm doing right now. I'm doing it on retail, I'm not doing it on an emulator, but this can be done on both. If you want a true Game Boy player, for those out there still wanting and looking for one, you also need a CD, as in a mini CD, a mini disc, a GameCube game basically, which is the software basically to start the Game Boy player. Unfortunately, I've been to many markets where they sell retro stuff, and it looks like the game disc itself for the Game Boy player is also super expensive. I mean, the last ones I've seen were between 60 and 100 euros, which I don't know exactly what that is right now in dollars or in yen or in any other currency that any of my viewers may be watching, have, or are familiar with. But it is still very expensive. That's a shame. I mean, many retro games have become really expensive because, I mean, there's also the real scarcity of the things having had a limited run, a limited print. So there aren't as many games. Sometimes there aren't as many games going around. That's also a problem. So when you only have, I don't know, not even 1 million of something, and then suddenly some internet reviewer does a review and now everyone and their mother wants to play that retro game. Oh, well, I did experience things like these, and yeah, it's not good when you want a retro game back, or you want to try it for the first time, and you want to say to yourself, I want to stick to the true experience and I want to play it on retail, meaning on actual consoles. Then brace yourself for a big investment, unfortunately. Which isn't a nice thing to say in today's economy, but I don't like lying to you, so that's just the reality of it all. Okay, let's hope this was correct. If not, we're going to calibrate. Okay, we will have to calibrate because that Mew is obviously pink. I'm not gonna weaken it, I have enough Master Balls. For those wondering why I have 6 Master Balls, usually you only get 1 per game, but in Emerald there's a cloning glitch. And that means you can also clone not only Pokemon, but you can also clone items. I never used Action Replay on this. I don't even have a functional Action Replay for Game Boy Advance, so... Okay. It's a calm nature. The game I'm playing is from my childhood. And I mean, me being an average European girl in Western Europe, I could not speak English very fluently, and in Luxembourg, where I'm from, you had the choice between French or German, and my German was much better than my French, so I got it in German. And the nature that we got is still, which is calm. So it's obviously not what we wanted, right? So what you can do to get the right frame is you teach it TM 10. For those French people, c'est la CT10. So it's hidden power, Kraftreserve in German. It's kind of confusing. I have played Pokemon in quite a few different languages, and in some it's not TM, it's CT. Also some things, for example, I think the Ultra Ball, I mean, you guys know it as the Ultra Ball, most of you, if you have played the game in English. But in German, it's called Hyper Ball. And usually that is also the name that was meant to be given in Japan. That's why there's a yellow H on the back of the ball. But we also have an Ultra Ball, which is something completely different in the German translation. I think also the Italian translation goes with the English ones with for the Pokeballs. It's an interesting tidbit or fan lore, I guess. Everything has to be lore today, apparently. So, okay. What we're going to do now, I'm going to show you the NPC. There's an NPC that has a Kecleon. That's the first thing she sends out. And that's very good, because we need that. And of course we get a wild battle that we don't need. Hi, Shuppet. Here's my shiny. Do you like it? Of course. Okay, so here, this one. Of course, we do get a wild encounter right in front of her. Well, almost right in front of her. You just hope that she is in the mood for a battle. The reason why I am picking her is simple. We need to figure out the hidden power type of my Mew that I just caught. And from that I could infer using Poke Finder, that is the... Oh god, did I just get paralyzed? Yeah, I did. Okay, thanks, G. Just change that one out. Luckily, paralysis doesn't get baton passed. No. Still get... Caught them that... Ooh, crit. Okay, that's not good. No! Oh god. Can you stop, please? Good. 5 times, of course. Thank you, Murphy. Oh, okay. It says it has no effect. Es hat keine Wirkung auf, which just means, yeah, it has no effect. Emu, you did myself a favor. I know it can only be one type. Kecleon is a normal type if it hasn't been attacked by any other type, so we can guess that the hidden power that I got was Ghost. It can only be that type because there's no other type that normal not only resists but is immune against. And it's not a shiny, so here I press any. Forget about the delay for a moment. It was still, and still is calm. And here we are. Then I click on generate. And I know the shiny is, or should be, on frame 13,903. Okay, so it should be around that frame. Okay, so there are multiple. That could be the one that we're looking for. Which is kind of a problem, because what I could do now is deduce the IVs. The problem with that is that the IVs are very hard to calculate when your Pokemon is a low level. The Mew that I have is... the Mew that I have is level 30, which, I mean, I could check the stats, but at this point it's very hard to deduce the IVs. So, have to take a guess here. I think that this one is the most realistic. That I missed this frame and I got the frame for that I pressed A at frame 14,100 not 100, 14,009. So what I do is I go to Ian Timer, which is this program, and I type in 14,009. And then I click update. And that should calibrate it. When I restart the timer now, maybe I will get the real thing. That's when you don't know what the exact frame delay is, which you put in here. See this? Take a drink first and then I'll start the countdown. Refreshing. Don't forget to hydrate. Alright, let's do this. Jeez, my chair is just squeaking so much. Yeah, hopefully this time I won't take as many tries. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes I get it right the first time and I immediately get it, and other times I just keep getting the one frame before or one frame afterwards, or maybe it's a delay of 5 frames. I mean, you have to press the A button in 1/60th of a second. That is very hard. But, I mean, if you were to do this the normal, standard way of resetting every single time and just hoping that luck comes your way, I mean, you could also get it right the first time with that, but we all know how long a traditional shiny hunt can take, especially if you're doing full odds. Full odds meaning the whole no special things that are that you use that lower the odds. For example, there's the Masuda method in Generation 4, where you when you breed two Pokemon and they are from foreign regions. For example, I had a Ditto, which was Korean, and I bred it with one of mine, which not a Ditto, of course. Ditto can't breed with Ditto, but I bred it with some other mon that I have or had, and it was German because my game was German, and then your odds of getting a shiny are slightly elevated. But this wouldn't work here anyway because my internal battery is dry, and that means that I only get this very same Pokemon at the exact very same frames. That doesn't work here anymore. But when I can calculate exactly in advance when a shiny is gonna appear, you can use what I'm doing right now. You can use RNG manipulation, which is actually pretty great. I have a Ruby that where the battery is also dry. It's a French Ruby, and that one is also RNG, let's say. I tried it at the beginning where you can even RNG for a very specific trainer and secret ID, and that way you can basically do a shiny playthrough if you want, which is cool. Got a shiny Mudkip out of that and many other shinies. Come on, let this be the one. No? Okay. Usually I shouldn't be able, let's say, to have this battle in my game, because it is programmed in the game, this Mew battle, but you need to have a very specific thing. I mean, it was only released in Japan originally, and also only during a very specific time frame. That time frame is long gone. I think it was maybe a few months in 2005, if I'm not mistaken. I could be mistaken. I could look it up, I guess, but I think I remember reading something like that. And even then you would require a e-reader, which is something us Europeans never got to experience. So there's that. Now you might be wondering how I got this. I didn't get it with Action Replay, and I didn't get it with ACE, or also known as Arbitrary Code Execution, which I'm actually too scared to do on this save file, to be quite honest with you. It can mess up things. I know nothing can happen if you know what you're doing, but I'm just too scared, I guess, or afraid to try it. I know how it works, but I just don't want to use it on this childhood save file. So yeah, I did teach it that. Remember to always have a few of these TMs lying around. There's a city in Hoenn where you can buy the TM. But honestly, I forgot the English name. In German, the city is called Grafiport City, and I think that's Slateport Town, if I'm not mistaken. Go do your ghostly things, I don't care. So lucky that NPC has a Kecleon, because you could also go look up where Kecleon are found in the wild, and that would take just way too much time. Throw in a double team for good measure. Oh wait, it used that move where I'm kinda trapped. Great. Actually, I don't know if I can... I don't remember if I can get out of this using the move. Can I baton pass myself out of this? Yeah, I can. Okay. Okay. Sometimes this changes with a different generation. Some rules are different. It's weird. Okay, what do we have? Ice tube, which means ice. Right, so we go back to our window with the Poke Finder. We got a Pfiffic one, which... Okay, first let's do things one by one. Ice first. Pfiffic is... where is it? Impish. Alright, and then we... I think... Oh yeah, we should maybe put this here. 13,000, because I will not... certainly not have the Mew that are in the very first frames. Those are not at all what we're looking for. Okay, so the actual frame that we're looking for is 13,903. I think this might be a case again of me getting like missing by 2 frames only. This has happened to me before when I tried to get the shiny fossil in my French copy of Ruby. I had to try so many times and it was so stupid because I always missed by exactly 1 frame and 1 frame only. So there's that. Now it could be that one, but since I explained before that we don't know if I enter these IVs in an IV calculate, or not these IVs, these stats in an IV calculator, it's not gonna spit out anything interesting because the level is unfortunately too low to properly calculate it. What other people usually also do is clone some rare candies so you can level up, so the calculation gets more accurate. But I think I have them on the PC in the game. Didn't do that because I almost never used that, to be honest. But that's up to you. Alright, so I think we got that one. Then I go to frame hit 900. I click update and I start again. And let's hope that this time I don't mess up by 1 single frame. That happens though sometimes. Really took me what, a couple of hours, and then some other reset that I did was the very first reset and I got it immediately. It's just like with classical shiny hunting, you never know what mad things will happen. But thank you Murphy's Law for always keeping us entertained, I guess. Imagine if you had a trainer ID and secret ID with a combination that would give you your earliest shiny at around 15 minutes, then you'd have to wait for 15 minutes in game if you mess up. That's why it's recommended that if you have such a long waiting time, that you just either you restart the save file, or you just say, if you don't, in case you don't want to delete that, you say no thanks, I'll get another one. Which is also a problem now, because these cartridges, at least the real ones, the authentic ones, are very expensive. I mean, I saw Emerald last Saturday at the market, or was it Sunday? It doesn't matter. I saw it, and it was for 80. It was being sold for 80 euros. Granted, it was in the box, but still, that's... I mean, I often see them not below 60 euros, which is a lot. It's not being... It's a very expensive hobby, loving retro games right now. About a minute left. Like I also said before, you can use your menu for during the wait time. Just do not open up the saved video should you have a saved video for from the battle palace or any of the battle faculties at the brain. Not the battle frontier. You shouldn't, because that advances your frames and that messes it up. But that method can be used if to skip a lot of frames, like thousands of frames. Should you, for example, have a super high frame, for example, you get a shiny with very good IVs 3 weeks into the game. Obviously, you don't want to wait 3 weeks before doing a reset, so use the battle video tactic. Alright, let's do it. I also recommend, if you're using this on a GameCube or doing this on a GameCube, then you should play using an authentic original controller from Nintendo, because I've tried this with some very old or bad ones, third-party ones for example, and causes you to mess up some frames sometimes, so I don't recommend that. No, I don't want to give you a nickname. Okay, so you are modest. Is a good nature, given that you are a Mew. But it's not what we want, because we want a blue Mew. No one needs Pound. No one ever needed Pound. There's also a fun fact about concerning the Pound name or the move, because there have been mistranslations in other games concerning that move. For example, in the Italian version, it got translated as lira, but that's the currency that was in Italy or used in Italy before the euro came. And of course, the attack pound does not refer to the currency pound, but the translators thought that maybe it did. So yeah, that was a mistranslation that has been in the game for over 20 years before it got fixed, I think in Gen 8. And also, Pfund in German is also wrong. They also fixed that translation Pfund is also referring to the currency, the UK currency, and not, or maybe a weight, but it shouldn't be called Pfund. They corrected it to clubs now, which is exactly what pound should mean. Just interesting that mistakes like these don't get found after decades pass. Let's do the thing again. Let's throw in another one for good measure. Okay, now we change. Baton pass. Okay, what do we got? We got a crit, but I don't care. Water. Okay, we got a modest one with water as its hidden ability, and okay. Don't think it's that one. At least that wouldn't make sense. Don't tell me I've been off by one single frame again. Did that happen again? Oh boy. Oh well. That's just how it goes sometimes. That's just a talent, a secret talent that I have. Just messing up by one single frame. Okay, let's do it. Funny that the Mew used one last useless attack. Yeah, this happens a lot to me. I mean, it could have been this 13983, but I don't think so. Would have been a lot of frames. We can reset these again. If you click on any, then it will just return to what it was before. This is also a way, in case you're wondering, it's also a very good way to guarantee a certain nature. You don't have to RNG for shiny specifically. You can also RNG for very specific IVs or nature or anything really. Which is a good thing in Emerald. You can get good competitive Pokemon very easily if you use RNG. But then usually you don't get a shiny. Usually not. So after this one, should I get the shiny Mew, I'll, I mean, I don't have a strict or fixed streaming schedule yet, but you can already expect me streaming usually during the weekends. That's where apparently most of my viewers are online. And that's what I'm going or trying to stick to now. I'm also thinking of doing a stream when it's New Year's at my place. And what I mean at my place, because I'm in Central European time when it's New Year's where I am. You guys, as in you guys, the American viewers watching this, it won't be New Year's, but it will be for me. Maybe I thought doing a live stream on New Year's as well. I've never done that before, but there's always a first. Chat is unusually quiet. Ten seconds remaining. Nope. Let me guess, I got frame 13,901 or something. Okay, so what nature did we get? We got Coatsick, which is quirky. Is the nature of the shiny, which is funny. But okay, I don't know what the hidden ability is, but you know the drill by now. TM10, we need you again. Oops. There we go. For those that don't know, hidden ability type is calculated via IVs. And apparently on this whole island there are no other wild Pokemon other than, you know, Mew, one of the rarest Pokemon ever. That's interesting. Yeah, I want back, please. So we're going on a boat trip from Southern America to Japan in this quick of a time window. Wow. Yeah, the D-pad of the game, or not the D-pad, the control stick of the GameCube isn't really that great when you play advanced games. Keep forgetting that. Imagine if we got a shiny now. I mean, I don't think so, because I know at which frames I get them, and these frames are now long past. Trusty Ginger does everything for me. Let's see what frame I was at. Jeez. just a second one, so it doesn't completely destroy the Mew. Of course, when it does that attack, or she, it's a female Kecleon, Pursuit never misses, and it's super effective, but the Mew should be strong enough to tank that. And what do we have? Gusht, which refers to Gestein, which is rock. So we got rock type. Okay, so I think I got what? I got... Oh, Jesus, is it that again? Good question. I mean, we have these frames. Although I do believe it's this one, but it could be another one. Like I said, I can't exactly calculate the IVs because it's a level 30. That's just not enough. Let's just assume it's that one because I know my luck and I always hit the, like, I always have an error or delay of only a very few frames. And Murphy's Law laughs into my face, so let's start again. Your toxic is no more. So this is basically how it goes when you calibrate. When you hunt for example, Groudon or Kyogre, then that's easier because they are at level 70, and them being at level 70 means that it's much easier to deduce the IVs that the Pokemon has, so you can actually know for certain if it was the given frame that you went for or that you got. Do have reason to believe it's this one, but I mean, IV calculation cannot be done at this point, and I don't have the rare candy thing done. I usually always go by frame delays that I know are correct, and then I try to get it that way. And apparently I'm quite an outlier for doing it that way. Most don't do that. Most do calibration like I'm doing it right now. And which method do you prefer? That's just up to you which method is better. I don't think any method is better. But I do hope we get it soon. I could even trade it over to XD and show it off in XD. I'm still reminiscing over the name. Should I call it Blue? BLEW? Or is that just too stupid of a name? I'm not that great at giving names, I'd say. Oh, hey James, I didn't even see you being here. That SB for 500 seems pretty good once you value up all the games, warrior, etc. I know you sent it to me via WhatsApp, but I didn't check the whole thing. How many games are with that? Because honestly, 500 is a lot of money, and I mean, Game Boy Advance games aren't that expensive anymore. Except maybe the mainline Pokemon games, the ones that I'm playing now. But other than that, I mean, you can maybe make a list and calculate it for for yourself or something like that. If I tried sending a Christmas card to you, do you think you'd get it in time? I think so, yeah, but honestly, I just wouldn't risk it because right now, the postal services are just completely overrun by tons of parcels, and you may risk it not being there on time. And on time, this reset shall be, and no, it isn't. Great. I mean, we will see each other for Christmas, right? So, I mean, you can just hand the card over to me directly. I know that may be weird, but okay, we got another impish one. And right now, the first thought that my mind had was, is it the impish one that we had before? And you may laugh, but I don't laugh at that because I can say with certainty that has happened to me before. I just kept hitting the exact same frame, but it was the wrong frame. So I did get the 1/60th of a second time frame correctly, but not correctly enough to get a shiny. Wonderful comedy. There are no other wild Pokemon here, which is a bit of a shame, I guess, but then again, what would you put here? It was just programmed for an event, that's it. An event that we never got outside of Japan. Yeah. Japan always gets the nice events, even today. James, if you're still there, how many games are included in that package? Because, I don't know, 500 euros, or no, it's not in euros, it's in pound. Still, isn't that a lot of money? I would accept it if it came with tons and tons and tons of games, but I'm talking of hundreds of games. Not for 20 games, I wouldn't think so. It depended on the games, but... When you get time, I send screenshots to you on WhatsApp. There's... All sellers would think old means valuable. Yeah, I know. Nine games? That's not enough. Okay, it may be a rare print of the SB, but that doesn't justify it being like £500. That's a lot. There are rarer SPs out there. This is the standard silver print that came out. I think the first silver ones that they made. Sure, but then there's like Japanese SPs with a special design that are even rarer. And I've seen them go for less than 500. With games. And my Voyager 1 is paralyzed. Great. Stop licking my Voyager 1. Ha! You missed. I mean, I do have a rare Doll 001 GameCube that the first one that got printed, but I still didn't pay 500 for it. Can I? Thanks. Finally. been almost an hour already, and it felt like 13 minutes or something close to that. That is what happens when you have fun. And what do we have? Ice. Was the one we had before that was impish? Was that ice type? Did I get it wrong again by one single frame? Is that the thing? Is that going to be a thing again? I think so. Oh well, that's just how the way it goes. At least I think I hit it. Again, I can't really say for certain because it could be that I also hit this frame, 15,320. But I'm not... no, actually, no, that couldn't be the case. I'm saying stupid things. Just ignore what I just said. We hit frame 13,901 like a true idiot that I am, because that's my thing. I just mess up, but only slightly. Yeah, I wouldn't sell your GameCube for profit, because having GameCube right now is good. They're not that easy to find. At least I know where you're from, probably it's harder to find. But I mean, I go to specialized markets to really look for them. The only GameCubes that I really want, I mean, you know it already, James, right? I have every single GameCube color variation that came out in the in Europe. I have the purple one, the black one, the silver one, and the white one. Then there are exclusive colors like the orange one, but that only came out in Japan. Maybe one day I'll own one, and I think there were also some that were teal, as in teal blue, but those were also only released in Japan. Oh yeah, the Panasonic Cube. It's still on my bucket list. I want to have it one day. I'm gonna own one, but you go on eBay and they cost 1,000 euros, and that's just no. I just don't want to afford that. I mean, I could, but should you? I do have a turquoise controller from Japan, because oddly enough, or maybe not oddly enough, Japanese controllers can be used with European GameCubes and vice versa. There is no locking. There's no problem with that. You can just use them interchangeably. I also have an orange, authentic orange GameCube controller. But, I mean, the controllers themselves are much less expensive, of course, than a whole console. Don't think I need to explain why that is the thing. For all the viewers in the chat, don't be shy. You can tell me something. I don't care. Anything. Or maybe not anything, because we do have censors here. Imposed by YouTube, not by me. One minute remaining. This year went way too quick. Oh, trust me, it's just gonna get worse with that. I mean, I still remember when I was a child, and one summer break just felt like an eternity. And now, being an adult, nearing 30, I really realize what my mom said back then was true. That the older you get, the faster time flies by. And that's true. It's a biological reality, and I mean, other than get used to it, by that point you can't really do anything against it. Except maybe do things that are fun, because right now I've been streaming for about an hour, and it felt like only 10 minutes, and I'm actually kind of flabbergasted that it was an hour that we're streaming right now. What I'm trying to say is that when you have fun, time moves in a different way. And we have a pink Mew again. Still remember being with you in September 2022 and you being like, how is it already September? Yeah. I mean, still, just yesterday I was thinking to myself, it's already December. 2024 is very close. How did that happen? The missing USB stick debacle. I don't know what you're referring to. Again, just as a heads up, if I shouldn't get it today, I will stream again tomorrow. You can expect me streaming during weekends. I always try to use YouTube analytics and try to guess or estimate what the best time is. Okay, so we got a Zacht one. Zacht is... Okay, we don't know that one. Oh, just... Let's go to the city first. Don't you remember we went to Media Market, a USB for your car? Oh yeah, that, well, okay, debacle. Yeah, it was again a 0 IQ move that I had. I just put in USB somewhere where you shouldn't put it. For example, I put it on my washing machine, and then I was frantically looking for it, and of course I wasn't looking if I put it on the washing machine, because who does that? But my brain thought for that second that was a good idea. Don't ask me why, I don't have an intelligent answer to this question. So Zacht is careful, which is here. Once that was even dumber. I was looking for my glasses and then I realized I have them on. So there's that. I don't care about that. I don't even need my attack stat right now. May not be able to join tomorrow night. Depends what time I have to get at work on Monday. Well, that's understandable. They might ask me to start at 6:30 rather than 10:30. Ooh, 6:30 is early. Yeah, no, I have another friend who couldn't make it because he's working now. Depending on what job I might get, I will maybe also be working on Saturday and Sunday, so maybe that will change as well. Frostbite 0008, how are you? Hi, I'm pretty fine actually. Okay, Bodentube, that means ground type. So we have a careful ground type. There it is. Okay, so how much did I mess up this time? I think it might be this one, yeah. I'm such a catastrophe at this. I know 7. I keep messing up by 5 frames or something like that. You got the job? No, I mean, I didn't get it. I'm still waiting for them, but the interview went really good, so I'm thinking that they should take me. I was just told by them that I could, because it being an IT job, sometimes I'd be required to work on Sundays and Saturdays, and I told them that's no problem. Since I don't have kids, I don't have to go by the standards of, you know, having my weekends free, or else I won't see the kids. But let's hope I do get the job. If not, then another one will do it. I'm feeling confident that I'll get that job, since the interview went pretty good. I should get an answer this month still. Oh, James, did you do the thing with, do you have Pokemon Yellow on your 3DS? Have you done that yet? Because I implored you to get into the Pokemon franchise. I think you'll like it. And if I could erase my memories of Pokemon and start again, start from scratch, I think I would also start with Yellow and then play Crystal, then Emerald, then Platinum, so on. It's in your room somewhere though. Yeah, we talked about it. I asked, you know, moms always find things. Oh, I think I forgot to tell you, but I did get a... Or no, I didn't forget to tell you. I sent you a picture. I found a pink 2DS last weekend, and that means that I now have every single Nintendo console or handheld in pink that ever came out. So that is also complete now. The bird that carries a leak, I think that's Pokemon. I think you're referring to Farfetch'd. Yeah, that's a Pokemon. Used to watch the cartoon on BBC. I never really was a big fan of the anime. Surprised pink 2DS is so hard to get. I mean, there weren't as many 2DSs as there were normal DSs, so I would think that maybe that is a contributing factor. Also, I got it for only €50 because also the main control stick had to be replaced. But I mean, €50 for a functioning handheld, can you really complain? That is a very good price. Jeez. There's also translucent 2DSs that look really nice. I mean, you know me, right? I love translucent tech. Kuhn, alright, that's bold. This time we got a bold one. Oh, there you are. Alright. Doing this again. No one needs pound. Something that's also really hard to find, or maybe not hard to find, but it's very expensive if you want to get your hands on the GameCube Pokemon games, like Pokemon Colosseum and XD Gale of Darkness. They are very expensive. I would suggest you, James in particular, to not maybe buy them, but you know, sail the high seas. Let's say it like that. Let's put it like that. You don't want to pay over 100 euros for a game. Yeah, I got that video. It's not, yeah, Pokemon XD isn't 220 euros anymore, but I still see it at conventions or other markets for going for at least 100 euros, and that's just insane. I mean, I know that it's one of the best Pokemon games ever made, but 200 euros? Yeah, that one, I talked about that before, how the player disc for the Game Boy thing is also way expensive. Yeah, it's useless without the attachment, exactly. You cannot use it without having that. And it's rock type. Oops, not bug, rock. Alright. Oh my god. And I did it again. Oops, I did it again. 13908 this time. Funny. Click update. And we hope for the best. Yeah, I don't understand either why that power link thing doesn't work, but I mean, you can use it for other things, and I would keep it because it's cheap, or it was cheap. I saw the Game Boy player disc and also the attachment for at a convention. It was still very expensive. Yeah, right now is kind of a... If you didn't have the things already from childhood or before, then it's really hard getting into the retro stuff. And by hard, I mean expensive. I had so much retro stuff before the fire, like my brother's childhood PlayStation 1 and PlayStation 2, my original GameCube and my dad's old, and again, my condolences. Has to be pretty traumatic losing so much stuff, or just having a house fire happen at all. At least not any loved ones died, and that's the most important thing. Alright, there was Solitaire on the NES, but I never saw or played it, so I don't even know how Solitaire works. My brain just closes when someone explains card game rules to me. I have no idea why that happens, but I've seen it in memes, so I know that I'm not the only one who has that particularly weird quirk. Still today, I don't care about card games. I don't know why, I just think they're boring. Uno is kind of fun with friends, but that's about what I play. That's it. I never bothered to learn the rules of Solitaire or poker or blackjack or any of these. Not even the Pokémon card game. I still don't know how it's played or the rules. Oh, you did. My condolences for Zoe. May she rest in peace. Poor cat. Super Solitaire, but that sounds more like a Super Nintendo game, because they had to let you know that it's for the Super Nintendo, so they slapped super everywhere. Everywhere, I mean. I mean, you have seen both, right? The SNES and the NES at my place, so the more square one is the NES and the bulky rounder one is the SNES. Why was I recommended this live stream? So random, lol. No idea, Louis de Fromont. I also don't know why the algorithm sometimes does that. The algorithm spammed with cow hoof cleaning videos, and I never ever looked up anything related to that on YouTube, but they thought, hey, you like animals? Here's a video of a cow hoof that has a pimple and that is filled with pus. Do you want to see that? No? Doesn't matter, you get it shown anyway. That's just how YouTube is. Yeah, I know, right? It's weird. Or even I got recommended videos in a language that I don't understand. I don't understand Vietnamese. I don't understand Arabic. Why did I get these videos recommended? I didn't even understand the word. Is this on the GBA player? Yes, it is. This is on retail. This is on a real authentic GameCube and a real authentic Emerald game. Thanks, yeah. These are expensive to get nowadays if you want to get into that again. Okay, this time it's a bug type. And the nature, I have to check again. I actually... oh yeah, usability. If I get paralyzed, you get paralyzed as well. Oh yeah, what's ruhig? And ruhig is quiet. There we are. Not even 5 years ago you could find a GameCube for under 40 euros. Yeah, I know. That is unfortunate. Okay, 300 and... Oh, am I this early? Okay, that could be, yeah. I mean, it is bug and it's quiet, so I guess it's that one. So we put in frame hit 13,896. We click update. And we try again. At least I think that it's that one, because the other ones don't seem to be the one. Although it could be this one. My Indigo console game with a silver controller and unbranded cable, so it may not be worth as much, but it all works. Still never selling it though. Yeah, I wouldn't, because they're hard to get anyways. Spent one summer really obsessed with collecting retro games, but I haven't actually played any of the games I bought. I've just been hoarding them, so I decided to stop buying them. Wow, that's actually, I mean, how many people out there hoard things, but they would never admit to doing that? So, kudos to that, Louis. I mean, you can still sell them or play them now. Sold some of them, just kept a lot of the games I was more attached to. Yeah, I can't blame you for that. What games were those, if I might ask? Of almost all the DS Pokémon games. I also have them all. Have you played Gadget Riders worth 500 euros? No, I haven't, but I doubt that it is worth 500 euros. Because even if a game is acclaimed and it hasn't had a long or good print, that doesn't mean that it is really worth 500. That's just overinflation of retro game sellers and also very often scalpers. Racers, not riders. Gadget racers. No, that just... no game comes to mind. What is it for? Is it for the... what console is it for? I've never heard of Gadget Racers. Is it only that expensive in Europe? Sadly not. I also keep getting messages from US fans that retro games are just all around very expensive. If you want the least expensive ones, you have to travel to Japan. But then again, traveling to Japan alone is very expensive, so you don't actually save any money. It's also called Road Trip, the Arcade Edition. No, sorry, no idea what that is. Gadget writers. I have to Google that. Okay, you shouldn't judge a book by its cover, but by seeing, I googled it now and I see the cover artwork and I automatically assume that it's shovelware. So I guess it's not really that good. I mean, I could be wrong. Cheap retro games problem is that they're in Japanese language. Well, if you're like me and you have a like B2 level of Japanese knowledge, then it's okay, but usually that's not the case. And yeah, that is a problem. Although sometimes you can change the language on some. Still not a shiny Mew. I'm gonna download it for homebrew. Oh, you bad boy, James. Piracy is wrong. That's what I'm allowed to say legally. I think it was made by the same people as ZooCube. Then keep your fingers off that game. ZooCube sucks. That's such a bad game. Really boring puzzle game. I had the misfortune of having it as a child, and I mean, we tried to sell it often in garage sales and flea markets, and no one took it. We still have it, and I mean, I don't want to destroy it because it's a GameCube game still, but I don't think I'll get rid of my copy anytime soon. It's like Clay Fighter for N64. It's super expensive, but apparently kind of a bad game. So yeah, it's like Superman 64, where the 64 game is really bad, even infamously so, and yet people play or pay a lot of money to get it. Is it like that? N64 is bad overall, never play N64. Yeah, James, we know you hate it. No, there are some good games like the original Super Smash Bros. That's a classic. Also the Pokemon games, at least the Stadium ones, are very good. I'm gonna lean out of the window and say something bad or something controversial. I don't really like Pokemon, the Pokemon game on the N64 where you take the pictures, photographs of Pokemon. Was never really a big fan of that game because it's a bit too predictable. Pokemon Snap, exactly. I just never really did anything for me, no idea why, and I got a lot of hate for that. Stating that opinion. I'm not saying it's a bad game, it's not. It's just not for me, I don't get the hype. My favorite console generation is probably GameCube GBA. That's a very good favorite generation to have. I mean, the GameCube alone has so many good games. Excellent games even, and GBA as well. Yeah, I mean, there's also a new Pokemon Snap now, which is also the same concept. The concept is nice, but I played the game a few times and then I get bored. Okay, we got a hidden power ice type, and the nature is, need to check, didn't check before, a heart, which is adamant. There you are, adamant. it's happening over and over again. I keep getting, I'm being a few frames off. We hit 3 frames, damn. Zelda Wind Waker is my favorite game of all time. That's a very good game. Yeah, I have so many good memories. not as much of a Zelda fan as, for example, my brother is, but definitely Wind Waker is a great game to play. Can I introduce a trigger warning? And I feel so bad for laughing. Okay, I hope if it's okay by the YouTube standards, then I guess. Because I don't set the rules here, YouTube does, and I mean, you have noticed when you watch certain videos where YouTubers go, he unalived himself instead of, you know, the actual action or the actual name of the action, because you're not allowed to say that on YouTube videos. It gets flagged and then you don't get ads and then you don't get monetized. My mom's cat peed on my childhood GameCube and basically shocked herself to death. What? Wait, did that happen? You never told me. That is a... Oh no. I was like 10, but I never forgot it. Oh no. I mean, I can't laugh at a dead cat. I love cats too much. And animals, so to speak, as well, but... Oh. GameCube still worked. Jeez. Oof. Was I kitten then, right? Because usually cats don't pee at random places. Usually. Yeah, I mean, if you laughed at the I mean, I wouldn't blame you. I know you wouldn't be a psychopath because you just laugh because it's such a stupid way to die. Also unusual. Oh, it was a really old cat, okay. Oh, that's really sad, but for a moment I thought you meant your mother's cat peed on the GameCube and your mom died. I mean, that would have been also very strange. Your mom's good, old but good. Same with my mom. Old but still kicking, very good. And still love her the same. No, my mom is not watching the stream. She's in bed right now, but still, if you're watching this, I love you. Love your moms while she's still there. Because one day she's not gonna be there anymore. Okay, this has now become very sentimental. And it started with a cat peeing on a GameCube. I feel so bad. Poor cat, but... I mean, at least she... 18 is a good age for a cat. Most cats that I have known have died at around the age of 16. And 18 is a good age. Weird way to leave the world, but... I mean... Very old humans also do things where you would ask questions and you would think to yourself, how, but... Yeah, I mean, maybe that was a... When you laughed, maybe that was some kind of coping mechanism. Can we not be off by a few frames anymore, please? No? Do you have pictures of that, or of said cat? Cat always attacked me, then again I was a child, didn't know how to treat it good. Well, usually that should be the something your parents should watch out for. I mean, I have watched kids with animals and I always intervened when... Okay, it's adamant again. Don't tell me I hit the same frame, please, no. But yeah, if you just have to... That's the parent's job to check if the child is being good with the animal. Especially cats are an exercise in consent, because if you touch a dog where it doesn't want you to touch it, it will tolerate it, or more often they will tolerate it. A cat won't, and you will get swatted by them. I mean, I don't need to explain this to you, James. You have had cats since ever. Since you were small. So it happened on Halloween on 2008. I imagine that if you were to tell that story to others, oh yeah, my cat died on Halloween, and how well she pissed on a GameCube, I think they wouldn't believe you. Because that is ridiculous. Nero is doing very, very good, as always. I mean, he's with my parents. And he's a very good chunk, he's a very good void, and that's what's important. And he likes the toys that I gave him. I bought toys for him. Even one, like a small goldfish plush that crinkles when you touch it, and there's catnip inside. He goes wild over that one. Oh, she didn't die instantly. What I understood was that she died from the shock. Because I have heard stories from my parents' friends of dogs taking a pee somewhere where there was electric current and the dog immediately dying. I've heard of that, so I assumed it was like that. Nero slept next to me the whole night during my last night in the childhood bedroom. Yeah, he loves cuddling with people when they sleep. He's just such a darling. I love him. Okay, it's adamant and ice type. Did we hit the same frame again? Did I do that again? I did. Wow. Great. Okay, I think I'll just try to get the real frame. I mean, calibrating, I think, has been explained enough. So right now, are you trying to figure out what frame you hit? Yeah, exactly, I'm doing that. If you know you didn't get the shiny frame, why not just reset immediately? Because I was trying to demonstrate how to calibrate. And usually I do it like you do, like you said, Louis. I just do it and reset. I know the correct frame to get the shiny is the frame number 13,903. That's the one I'm trying to get, and sometimes I get it right the first time, and sometimes I just miss the frame by a few, and by a few I mean 1 frame, 2 frame, 5 frames. It's kind of frustrating, but doing this the old way, and with the old way I mean the classic way of just soft resetting without any RNG manipulation, would take me far, far longer than this. I've tried RNG manipulating on Hard Gold, Soul Silver, not on Ruby, Sapphire, Emerald, but I'm assuming it's similar. Yeah, it is similar. Just with the DS games, you have to take the time of the DS into account. And I will also, in the future, probably stream the Gen 4 and Gen 5. I want to try RNGing those as well. Because the save file that I used for Black 2 isn't that important to me. I could delete that one and try to make a Black 2 where I can get tons of shinies. In Gen 4 there's also something else which you can RNG manipulate if you try to get the cute charm glitch to work. Then you get a lot of shinies. of course, if you're unlucky and you have a save file where you have to wait 10 minutes in between, then that's not very good. RNG manipulation is strangely fun to me. The whole process from finding your seed to looking for a frame to trying to time correctly is kind of fun. Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's more fun than the standard method, because with standard soft resetting, you're just setting things up to luck. You hope, or yeah, you just hope for dumb luck to happen. And with this, you have to be kind of clever about it. You have to calculate your secret ID and all that, and you feel like you're more in control, which you are, of course. Not just dumb luck, but it feels so satisfying getting a shiny like that as well, because even though you weren't exactly lucky, you still figured it out. And that feels rewarding, because you actually have to do something, put in effort to get it, and not just try again and again. Of course, I'm not talking down normal soft resetting, which can also be fun, and there you have the advantage of when you do that, you just do something else at the same time, reading a book, maybe doing some household chores, watching a movie, playing another video game. Way better than cheating as well. Well, yeah, out of cheating you don't get anything. That's just anyone can whip out a action replay and cheat a shiny Mew. What's the point? Also, no thanks, because the action replay for the GameCube, for the GameCube as well, but also for any old action replay is super expensive right now. It's insane. Oh, that didn't register. Last time I checked, the price for an action replay was last week, and I saw some for $250. So, no thanks. I cannot afford that. I mean, I could theoretically, but that's like buying a designer purse when you have a very low income. You could theoretically buy it, but you shouldn't, because it's not a wise financial decision. So I don't. Not like with the designer purse. I also don't buy these because I can't really afford them, but with the action replay it's like that as well. So I'm glad that I have the GameCube with the Game Boy player and all that I have it. I don't need to buy it again. Speaking of purses, did you see the ones I found in London? Yeah, I did. They were really nice. To be fair though, I mean, people wear what they want to wear, and people do with their money what they want to do, but I have found that a lot of designer purses last really long. I got one that was gifted to me. Couldn't afford it like that, or I couldn't have back when I got it. And it's really old, but it still looks just like new. Yeah, $3 a purse. Some purses cost like, I know I've seen one from Louis Vuitton, which costs, what was the price? 11,000? That's a lot, right? That's almost a doctor's salary in Luxembourg, so you can get a car for 11,000. A used car, to be fair, but still, you can get a car for that money. But then again, there's also hotels where you pay hundreds and thousands a night, or there's cars that cost millions. There's always some super expensive option of every single item, I think. Although the gold eating thing I don't understand, why you would eat food with gold. You can't digest gold? It's a good thing that gold is a not very reactive material, so you don't poison yourself with gold. But I mean, I don't need to explain where the gold ends up being afterwards. Do you want to? I mean, why go through that process when you can just flush down your money? Yeah, you just put your money in the toilet and flush it down. That's about the same thing. So that's one thing I don't understand. Putting gold on edibles, on food items. I'd rather have a 50 euro purse with 3,000 euros in it than a 3,000 euro purse with 50 euros on it. Well, I don't want to play the devil's advocate, but you could sell that extremely expensive purse, and then maybe you'd get your money back, because the resale price for these are almost always very close to the actual retail price. So there's that. Still pink. I mean, usually pink is my favorite color, especially fuchsia, but this time I want blue. Man, last week at this time it was -5, -4 degrees, and now it's 7 degrees Celsius. It's just so weird. Shoots up 10 degrees or even more like that, just like that. Will you guys celebrate, or do you guys celebrate Christmas, or maybe something else? I mean, we never celebrated, my family never celebrated Christmas as religiously as other people do, especially some US Americans. I just, today we just eat as a family, and then that's pretty much it. My family is Catholic, so we celebrate Christmas, well, that makes sense. My family is agnostic or atheistic, so we don't. But I also know atheists or agnostics, or even other religions that celebrate Christmas. We're not religious, but every year I spend the day with my grandparents. It's been that way every year since I was born. Well, that's a very personal tradition, and I wouldn't break that. If it really, I mean, I wish I could still spend time with my grandparents, but they're all deceased, so that's impossible. So do really spend the time with them, because one day they're not here anymore. No, that's bleak to say in a stream about a children's video game with virtual monsters, but I just said it. And it's life. Or death, in that case. Kids aren't old enough to remember this game, so it's okay. Yeah, that's not what I was trying to get at. I was just... It's funny that I play a game that was intentionally, or it was made or conceived for children, and I play it here, and then we talk about death and things related to that. Even my Jewish friends celebrated. The Jews I know celebrated in their own Jewish way. They don't celebrate it like the Christians that I know. Kids gotta learn sometime, yeah, well, that is also true. I also think that sometimes we're a bit... I mean, we try to way too much... Us adults just try to sugarcoat life a bit too much, and that's not... I don't think that's healthy for children. Also see my grandparents once a week for a couple hours for card games. It's been a weekly thing for years. That's great. Really, enjoy the time with them. Enjoy spending that time. Make good memories. That's important. They live next to your work, which makes it easier. Well, that's fantastic. When you can visit them very quickly. I know people whose grandparents were 100 kilometers away and they always had to drive really fast. No, hopefully not. That isn't good. Speeding isn't good. But they had to drive really far away. Kind of disagree. I think children shouldn't be lied to really, but once they lose their innocence, it's gone forever. Yeah, that is true. I know what you mean. But what I mean is... I mean, how long do you really want to keep that up, the facade that death and other things don't exist? One day you have to explain it to them. It also depends on the child. I know some, well, they're now grown adults, but back when they were children, one of them accepted the concept of death and other things when she was 4 years old, and her brother didn't when he was 7. So that also depends strongly on the child, the individual child. My grandparents used to live an hour away until they moved to my town in 2018, so before then I hardly got to see them. Well then profit now, really do it. Because, I mean, I would give anything to see my grandma again, especially my maternal grandma. She was one of the kindest people I've ever met. Really, very, really kind. And highly intelligent too. I mean, you could talk to her about anything. That was great. I mean, I wish I could bring her back, but that is not possible. And I mean, she has lived her life, so... I just cherish the good memories that I have. And I tell people about her so she doesn't die the second death, as it's known as. Speaking of lying, should I tell my niece about Santa? I don't know. Does she still believe in Santa? I don't know if really shattering that illusion, let's say, is really nice to a child. It depends on how old she is. Love hearing about your grandma seeing photos and wasn't her picture in a school book. Not her picture, but my great-grandfather was in a history picture of Luxembourg's history book, because he was one of the miners who worked at Arbeit back then. So I said, hey, that's my great-grandfather, and the people just wouldn't believe me. And the thing is, I proved it by bringing the original photograph that they use in that book, because only people that had that were family members or relatives of these men were given that print, that picture, and yeah, so naturally I brought it to school to prove it. Was only kidding about the Santa thing. Well, with you, James, you never know, right? She's 2 years old? Okay, well, that is... Of course, no, don't. I remember my dad would get up early on Christmas Day and take a sled and leave tracks outside the window to my brothers, and I believe Santa came to visit. It was so magical. Wow, that's actually very cute. That's sweet. Just put so much effort in it. I know friends of my parent, a friend, he dressed as Santa, and I believe that he was. Of course, I was a very small kid at the time, but because of him, because he's a very, very tall person. He's almost 2 meters tall. And because of him, I thought that Santa was just naturally a very tall person. I used to write a list of questions for Santa, and as I got older, I started to realize Santa's writing looked like my dad's. Classic. At least you didn't misspell it and you wrote Dear Satan for this Christmas I want. Imagine Satan reading so many misspelled Santa Claus letters. That thought alone always makes me giggle. Same with the Tooth Fairy, yeah. Isn't that creepy with the Tooth Fairy? You have some adult woman you don't know who wants your teeth. Just teeth. She collects teeth of strangers' children. Which, the more you think about it, the weirder it gets. Never believed in the Tooth Fairy. I think I was too much of a light sleeper to fall for it. I see, yeah, I wasn't a light sleeper. I was KO when I slept. I was really gone. But I still have a few teeth from when I was a small child. Maybe a bit creepy to keep teeth, but I mean, I didn't keep them, my mom did. Keeping your teeth that fell out when you were a child, some people in my country keep them in a little... No, they put them somewhere in some kind of special bin that is shaped like a tooth. I didn't keep them, my parents did, but yeah, sometimes people do that where I'm from. I think my mom even has the tooth of my nephew, if I'm not mistaken. In Luxembourg, yeah. Not only here, I've also talked to Germans and French people who also done the same thing. Also speak French in addition to German, English. Yes, I am fluent in Luxembourgish, in French, in German, in English, and I have certification for B1 Japanese, and I'm thinking of learning Italian and Spanish and Dutch. Jeez, well, thanks, but that's really nothing special where I'm from in Luxembourg. I know people who speak even more languages than I do. It's pretty normal where I'm from. Yeah, my dad should have taught me Italian, that's true. He never did. He thought it was unnecessary, but... Pulled the dentist asked if I want to keep them. Was like, what the F? No, they're covered in blood. They do clean them where I'm from. They just clean them and then you can have them. No blood. Most Luxembourgers speak French, German. Well, it's a bit more complicated than that. We do have 3 official languages in our country, which are Luxembourgish, French, and German. But, I mean, a Luxembourgish national like me usually speaks Luxembourgish, which is its own language. They usually also speak French and German because these 2 languages are taught in school. Very early, I might even add. For example, at the 2nd year of primary or elementary school, you already have French lessons. I didn't know it was its own language. Yeah, it is. Many people don't know that, but I mean, can't blame them because there's not even 1 million speakers of the language worldwide. It's a very rare language to come across. My parents are French, so I can speak it, but I never lived in France. Donc tu comprends quand je parle le français. Almost every Luxembourg guy I saw looked really good. They really know how to look after themselves. The women too, of course, in case this sounded like favoritism. I can't speak for the same, James. I don't think Luxembourgish people are particularly attractive. I mean, at least not in my experience, no. Oui, bien sûr. Donc t'as eu de la chance parce que mon père, il vient de l'Italie du Nord, et il n'a jamais parlé avec moi parce qu'il pensait que c'était inutile. On est au Luxembourg, donc on parle le luxembourgeois, le français et l'allemand, et pas l'italien. Et aujourd'hui, je dois vraiment commencer à prendre des cours en italien parce que j'ai pas une base. Donc, ouais. You clearly haven't been to England then, haha, you've got a husband, so you're set. Yeah, I mean, and don't take this the bad way, that's my brother being cheeky again, but he did have a semester in England where he studied abroad, and he told me that, that was his comment, not mine, that English women are ugly, and, well, I don't know, I don't check for attractiveness with a nation, I don't know, I don't do that. Je déteste d'apprendre le français quand j'étais plus jeune, mais j'apprécie maintenant. Pas exactement le même cas avec moi. Si on doit apprendre la langue pendant l'école, normalement on se dit, oh, je sais pas, ça, c'est l'ennui, je veux pas faire ça, mais aujourd'hui, si on utilise ça dans un cas professionnel, c'est vraiment utile, donc. I don't know where you get that though, James, the Luxembourgish people being hot or attractive. Oh, and for any other viewers who are watching this now or will watch later, yes, I switch between languages like that. That's just a way I've grown up, and if a German guy comes in and he asks me something in German, I will answer in German. Maybe just because they're rich. I don't know what you mean, je comprends pas. Mes parents, ils sont pas vraiment riches, ils sont normales. Kind of agreeing with your brother, but no, I don't look for looks either. Sometimes it just happens without me realizing. Yeah, that does happen, right? When I had a teacher from Spain, she switched between Spanish and English without realizing. Oh, let me tell you, if you know multiple languages, then that means you get to be stupid in multiple languages. Sometimes I said something and then I switched to French and German in the same sentence. And I said some stupid things like, merci, können wir do that later? And that's a nonsense, or, I mean, it makes sense if you know all the languages that I just said, but you get languages like that, not languages like that, you get sentences like that, and then you just notice that you said nonsense because the other party is looking at you like you're an alien or something. Thought Luxembourg had a higher wealth to person ratio than any other European countries. Oh, you mean like that? I mean, yeah, but it's relative. I mean, we do have a extreme housing crisis right now. My parents are middle class, not too rich, not too poor either, but there is a very extreme, I mean, the extremes keep rising. We get more poor people and more rich people, and the middle class is vanishing, which is happening everywhere, to be fair, but it's not I mean, I'm not a millionaire, my parents aren't millionaires, but usually when you look at the statistics, they say we are, because they just take the worth of the house that you are in into account. And maybe you don't know, but buying a house in Luxembourg, a normal standard house, you will have to shell out more than €1 million, which is insane. And it's a big problem for people like me, young people who are married, want to look for a job, are done with university, want to get into life, and we just can't afford to buy anything, because 1 million, that's a lot. And then you need to consider that you don't have to pay 1 million, you have to pay more because of bank interests. And yeah, we have a lot of Luxembourgish people that are fleeing the country. Maybe fleeing the country sounds extreme, but they go live in Germany or Belgium or France, because the rent and just general housing is much cheaper there. So that's a problem. Not everyone in Luxembourg is rich, but yeah, if you compare a Luxembourgish middle class family to a German middle class family, the Luxembourgish middle class family is richer, yeah. But you have to keep in mind that most statistics that say that usually include the worth of the house or the apartment that you're in. And since that worth has been way overinflated, it's not worth 1 million in my book. Let's say let's put it like that. So there's that. You have to consider that as well. Thought I heard you speaking French when we were in Germany, lol, but that was always interesting to hear. You heard me when we were at the airport and I had to speak to that worker, remember? When the thing wouldn't open. And I kept trying to speak to him, but you couldn't understand a word. Come on, be blue. Moo, mew. So I was saying, maybe, James, you think Luxembourg people are attractive because they are more wealthy. I mean, there's a point there. Yeah, housing costs are sadly overinflated pretty much everywhere except maybe Italy. I mean, I'm broke. So I keep getting Germany and Luxembourg mixed up. Yeah, I mean, we could travel within a few minutes. We could be in France and in Luxembourg, then Germany. That is unique, but I almost never use my French in Germany because they just don't speak it over there. But yeah, in Luxembourg we do have a lot of French nationals or people from Belgium who cross the border to work here because the salaries are much higher than back in their country. Which, yeah, I see why they do that. If I were a foreigner, I would do the same, honestly. And a lot of them don't really speak any other language than French, so you have to speak French. I had a cousin who worked in Luxembourg over the summer because of the increased salary. Yeah, we are basically a bit like a Switzerland if it was in the EU. Not entirely, but we are also filled with banks and other things. But I think, James, the fact that you have been referencing, I think that's just generally European culture, because I have noticed when talking to my American friends that they also commented about the fact that Europeans seem so nicely dressed and stylish and well looked after, and I think that's just the culture here. When you go out and you have really messy hair and you wear what would be considered normal in an American setting, here you wouldn't get ostracized, but you would get some looks of should you really you're walking around with a hoodie and track pants. And in America that's normal, but in Europe I guess people put more effort into their appearance because it's expected. Whether that's a good thing or a bad thing, I don't know. But maybe it's that. Just realized Wii Party is basically a rip-off of Mario Party. No. Wii Party isn't a rip-off. What makes you say that? It's like that some part of England too, most of London actually, but others are like, if you're comfortable, what's the issue? Well, apparently in the US it's normal that people go into Walmart in their pajamas, and do that in Europe and you get the, not a death stare, but you get a what is wrong with you stare. Maybe that's the difference. Because that game was awesome, yeah. So Wii Party, the game with the tanks. It's a game that got a really early release where there's many things on it. I think there's also Pong on it. It's been such a long time since I played it. I get customers in their pajamas. Yeah, see, do that in Luxembourg and you get really stared down. People will judge you. Especially if you go to the capital or close to the capital where all the I think I'm better than other people Luxembourgers are. Sorry if that offends anyone, but it's kind of true. If they see you in pajamas, I mean, it's... Yeah, you tend to get judged more here, which isn't actually a good thing. But just don't do the pajama thing here, you will get stared at. Or you just do it because you don't care what other people think about you, then more power to you. US colleges, you have students taking finals in their pajamas. Then you save time on getting ready, I guess. Maybe I would be right in saying that if you were to do this in Germany or Luxembourg, then maybe a professor would come up to you and ask you if you're okay, because usually you don't go out with your pajamas. But then again, that's just a cultural difference. They're just trying to comfy for finals. Yeah, I get it. I mean, okay, I'm a woman, but I like if it's hot and outside, I just put on a dress, and that's dresses. I like them. They're comfy to wear. I know I wrote my finals in a dress. But it's interesting how the how it's one single small thing is really frowned upon in one place and then completely normal in another place. It's always these conversations that I have with American friends are always very interesting when they say what's normal for them and what's normal for us. I think I'll do a few attempts and then I'll hit the hay for tonight. Don't know what time it is where my viewers are from, because according to my channel statistics I also have some viewers from Indonesia or various parts of the US. But right now where I'm from, it's midnight. And I can tell without looking at the clock because my Windows is configured in the way that it changes the light after 0 or after midnight, so it emits less blue light waves that make your eyes tired. The same thing, yeah, it's also, you can do that on phones as well. And then when it's night, it's time to go to bed. Yeah, exactly. I mean, tomorrow is Sunday and I don't have anything. Except if I don't get it now. Or if I'll see how many attempts I do now, but I'm thinking about ending the stream pretty soon. If I don't get it today, I'll try again tomorrow. And you can always expect me to stream around this time, Saturday, Sunday evening for me. How long does it usually take? It depends. Sometimes I got it the first try, and other times it took hours because I kept hitting a wrong frame, but the frame was only one frame after the shiny frame. It really depends. Remind me what you're trying to get. Still a noob. It's a shiny Mew. Mew being a very rare Pokemon, and usually it's pink, and the shiny we're trying to get is blue. It's also in the thumbnail. Do you usually have to wait 3 minutes for the seed, or are you actually able to find earlier seed? No, this is the earliest seed that I have with this save file. This is a save file that is older than my niece and nephew. It's wow, it's almost 20 years old by this point, this save file, and I have a emotional attachment to it. I would never delete it, but I managed to calculate my secret ID and my trainer ID, as you can see here, and that way I know when the shiny is gonna come, and my earliest shiny is about 3 minutes in, which is still not too bad. I mean, there are some save files where you get 10 minutes. Imagine having to wait 10 minutes every time. That is I mean, I have a Ruby that is under a minute, or just slightly above a minute, 70 seconds. But you don't want your time or your frame to be too early, because you still have to press through the menu, and depending on what you want to do, you have to either click on your sweet center, or you know, the Pokemon in your team that has sweet scent, or you have to quickly pull out your fishing route or something like that. So you don't want it to be too early. Sometimes that can be a problem. Can't you just save the game for 2.5 minutes and then reset? No, that doesn't work, because when I reset now, it always starts with the very same frame. So no matter when I save, the frames are always going to be the same. So saving doesn't work here. I originally planned to do also stream another game while at the same time waiting for the countdown, but I still haven't got that to work, unfortunately. Still have to see why that doesn't really work. Right now I'm using a Dazzle to record my GameCube. There are ways, but I can't use them to my advantage here. What's the other game? Oh, the other game? I mean, no, I did say it. I wanted to also stream Pets. I mean, the Pets games on the PC, because those are some old underappreciated games. And I also wanted to stream the Chow Garden as well, but which is Sonic Adventure 2. But like I said before, I couldn't get it to work here. It only accepts one source for some reason. But I know that there are streamers out there that stream multiple games at the same time. It works, I just need to figure out how I can get it to work on my end. You and this girl in my class are the only two people I've met who grew up playing Pets. Well, I had a childhood friend who showed it to me. Yeah, Pets sadly wasn't as recognized as it should be. Which is a shame, but I mean, the developers of said game managed to get a prize for a game that they did later, a freeware game called Facade, which you can download right now onto your PC. It's a game about trying to save a marriage of two people you went to college with. It's two humans, has nothing to do with petting animals, sadly. But yeah, the game is pretty funny. They won an award. I forgot the name of the award, but they did actually manage to win an award because at the time when they released this, it was cutting edge. Oh, I remember Facade was really funny. Yeah, don't say melons because Trip will kick you out for some reason. Imagine going, visiting friends that you had in college and you just go melon. And he kicks you out. That's Facade. Melons, yeah, James. You can in Facade you can type in words, anything. You can call him every bad thing under the sun. But when you do that, the guy and the couple is called Trip is the guy and Grace is the woman. And the man kicks you out if you say too many evil things, or evil. I mean, melons isn't evil, but I guess they programmed it in a way that melons should be a reference to a very specific, usually female body part, if you catch my drift, and they just flagged it as a bad word. Can also start by kissing them both and they don't know how to react. Yeah, that is also very funny. You just start kissing them, which is kind of harassment, but I did give them the kiss when they said hello, and then they asked, whoa, are you European or something? And I said, yeah, I am. We do it depends on the country, but for example, when I meet Italian relatives, we do the kiss thing. Kiss on the cheek, of course, but it's funny. You should play it, James. Facade is for free. You can download it right now. It's funny. Still holds up today, I'd say. I mean, the graphics are not good, but that's not what you expect when you play the game like that. And when you get a free game, can you really complain? Ok, I'm gonna eat dinner now. Salut, c'était sympa de discuter. Bah, merci pour être ici. Je vais commencer encore un autre stream demain. Donc, jusqu'à demain et bon appétit. Ciao, ciao. Au revoir, as they say. And it's a pink Mew. That's unfortunate, but there's always another day. So right now, I'm very happy that people were here. We had a lot of fun. I can't believe that I've been streaming for 2 hours and 20 minutes already. It certainly didn't feel like I played that long. But it's time for me as well to hit the hay. So thank you for being there and see you tomorrow. Bye bye.